Welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm Adam Riancho, and we're back on YouTube. We did not live stream yesterday, but we're back today. We're doing some mock drafts. I guess they're not mock drafts, they're real drafts on Underdog. Anyways, let's get prepped for our real draft coming up in the next couple weeks. Let's go. One of these days, I'm going to have the intro just like fully thought out in my head, and it's not going to sound all jumbled and random, but not today. Not today. Anyways, we are hopping in to, I think we're going to do some puppies. It looks like the eliminator's about to fill. The flock contest just filled. Not going to do a Great Dane. Probably not going to do a Husky today. I think we're just going to hop into some puppies. So if you want to join with me, if you're interested, if you want to hop in, if that's what you want to do, I hope you're ready. And I'll let you know in the chat. Right now, I'll drop when I'm joining. And when you see it is when to hit the button. All right, joining the draft now. Let's do it. Oh no, we're okay. I thought for a second they blocked out my location, but we're all set. Look, I may have been the last person in though. I might have been the last person. It filled instantly. So, if you're just gonna spectate, no problem with that. Hope you can get in next time if that's what you were trying to do. But at the moment, we are chilling. We are in this lobby. We're all set to go. Anyways, Craig Wayne, Double Wayne, is asking us. Hold on. Let me get your comment here on the screen. Let me do this the right way. There it is. Okay. Craig, thoughts on stacking Bo Nix and Sutton? I think if you're going to stack Bo Nix, the players I want the most are Cortland Sutton and Evan Ingram. So one general rule of thumb is like draft some players with the plan of grabbing their quarterback. And I do like at the 4-5 turn the value on Sutton. I do think from a floor perspective, he's a very safe pick. And maybe the touchdowns evaporate a little bit with some of the new pieces, but I think in general, Sutton's a very safe pick. So I think he's a good stacking option. I think Bo Nix is a top 10 quarterback. I like the stack. In general, I never regret that combo. But let me get this to be the right size. There we go. And then move that down. All right. That's what we need. We have pick 6. Pick 6 is a good spot to be in. Christian McCaffrey goes pick 3. So at worst, we're going to get like CeeDee Lamb, most likely. I think we'll be okay. And Saquon off the board. There's a chance. Oh, I get Gibbs here? Beautiful. Love Jahmyr Gibbs at the 6. This is a value that has been there all season, but has been kind of not as available as much. Jahmyr Gibbs has moved up to pick 4 in ADP. I will happily take him here at pick 6. I'd rather have him than Jefferson. I think I'd rather have him than Saquon, and I feel like he is a bust-proof selection. So Jahmyr Gibbs, it is at pick 6. But looks like Jamie will check in later. Not able to stick with us the whole time. No worries, Jamie. I hope you have a great day. And Craig, good luck, man. Are you a Bronco fan? The more I think about the AFC West, I think the Broncos are in great shape. I think the Broncos will be better than the Chargers this year. Pains me to say it, whether you're a Charger fan or not. Pains me to say it, but I do think that's what's going to happen. Am I missing something? Oh, okay. We're still a little too wide. That's what's going on. There we go. Okay, I'm just getting this freaking thing set up. My bad for the dead air. Anyways, Jefferson, then Neighbors, A-Chain, Amon-Ra, Nico Collins, Puka, London at the 13th pick, and then Brian Thomas, Ashton Genty, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Ladd McConkey. We are on the clock. I think I'm going to go double running back here. And yeah, I'll take Taylor. I don't think Taylor like crazy, but top of ADP. I think it's a fine pairing to have, and they do have different buys. So we'll go Jahmyr Gibbs and Jonathan Taylor. Get back in on the Taylor bandwagon. Taylor's a fine pick. Sometimes I don't really like investing in the Colts offense like crazy. Sometimes I'm really worried that the Colts are not going to be very good with their quarterback situation, but I think they're, middle of the pack. I don't think they're like above average by any means, but I think they'll probably be like a 7, maybe at worst 6-win team. But that last year, I believe they went 8-9, and there is a chance that they're like a 10-win team. It's not impossible, but I wouldn't bet on it. I would more likely bet that Shane Steichen does not keep his job. Dev saying Taylor gets hurt all the time. That is one of the main concerns I have with Taylor. That's why I have Chase Brown ranked higher. That's why I have Josh Jacobs ranked higher. But when he is healthy, he can pop off for a massive game. Craig says, I'm a Saints fan and hoping Sean Payton can do some Breeze Colston magic with Nix and Sutton. Marcus Colston was a staple of my early fantasy teams. Marcus Colston was a beast. Marcus Colston led me to some fantasy championships back in the day, back at some of my early seasons. You know who else led me to a fantasy championship? Michael Thomas. I did draft Michael Thomas that one breakout season that year when he was the offensive player of the year. Damn, Michael Thomas had a good season that year. What was that, like 2018, I want to say? That sounds about right. Maybe it was 2019, but I think it's 2018. Saints have had some good receivers. In the Sean Payton system, there's usually some valuable pieces. Jimmy Graham fucking killed it for a long time. Oh, it's tempting to go with triple running back. I wanted a elite quarterback. Not going to get him. But do we go overkill on it? I don't think so. It's between JSN and Mike Evans. I'm not a fan of Harrison. I think Garrett Wilson's going to be a bit of a bust. I got a lot of JSN. We're going to go Mike Evans. Mike Evans scores touchdowns. Yeah, we're taking him above ADP. But in general, my rule of thumb, any player that's not going to make it back to you, if you want them, go ahead and take them. Go ahead and grab them. So Chris Godwin is not healthy. There's some young players behind him. Evans was a top 3 receiver last year to close out the season. He was averaging over 17 points per game when Godwin was off the field. I do think he gets a bit of a bump from the concerns on Godwin. I'm not afraid to take Evans in the 3rd, but we were 1 pick away from T. Higgins. Damn, that would have been nice. But interesting to see Devontae Adams go at pick 26. That team with Bijan and Josh Allen takes Adams. So they're not worried about Stafford. Maybe there's some reasons to not be worried about Stafford, but a little concerning. I'm not going to lie. I am heavily invested in Adams, so I hope everything is okay. Wayne says Michael Thomas was in 2019. Got it. Yeah, it was one of the two. Damn, he was good that year. The players that help win you a championship, you'll never forget. Like, I'm never going to forget T. Higgins' game against the Broncos last year, helping me clinch the Subscriber League championship. That was fucking dope. But another player that helped me do that was Jahmyr Gibbs. One reason why I do love Gibbs in the 1st round. But Daniels goes in round 4, so does Jalen Hurts. So we're not going to get an elite quarterback on this team. Kittle's been taken. Not going to get an elite tight end. But who knows? TJ Hawkinson is on the thumbnail. We can go TJ Hawkinson. James Cook off the board. And interesting to see Breece Hall falling. That's kind of curious. But even with a decent price, he's still not my highest ranked guy. So I will just grab a receiver. And technically, my highest ranked is JMO based on my new updated rankings. Love me some Jameson Williams this season. So another Detroit Lion. Maybe this is a Goff team, but I don't think you have to stack up Jared Goff when you have multiple Lions. Like, it definitely makes sense, but I don't know if I'm like dying to target Goff no matter what this season. He'll be good, he'll be fine, but I don't know if he'll be as elite as last season. Last year was special for Jared Goff. Craig saying, I'm wondering why Hampton is going so far ahead of Travion Henderson. Henderson will catch way more balls. So the reason why Hampton moved up so high is because of all of the Najee Harris concerns, and that's been the case since July. There have been a lot of, uh, I mean, I'm not really one of them. I've felt this way all off season, but a lot of people were believers in Ramondre Stevenson being a factor in that offense. And some people still think he'll have a role early in the year. And even if he does, like, I still think Travion's hyper valuable. But if not for the Rashawn Slater injury, you still have an elite offensive line in LA. So there's just a lot of factors. Jim Harbaugh runs the ball like crazy. And we've seen the Chargers be good. We have yet to see the Patriots be good. So I think you could argue Henderson should be going almost back to back with a guy like Omarion Hampton. But there's just some different factors that led to him being hyped up and moving up the board. Very tempting to grab the discount on DJ Moore here. It's probably the wise pick, but I kind of want to take Kenneth Walker in all honesty. But nah, we've faded DJ Moore a lot. This is a decent price. I'll take DJ Moore. It's something I can tolerate. We waited until round 3 to grab receiver. I'll go DJ Moore, but I kind of want to take Kenneth Walker in that regard, in all honesty. Dev with a valid point here in half-point PPR. Catching balls is not enough. It's valuable, but yeah, it's not like the end of the world. What we need is touchdowns. And in general, people are assuming that the Chargers offense is going to be more valuable for touchdowns than the Patriots. And then there's more assumption that the Patriots is more of a committee than the Chargers backfield because Najee completely up in the air. But apparently Najee has like begun some level of practice. He's not like getting cut as some people were fearing. There is a chance that Najee does really pose a problem for Hampton, and maybe Hampton is not as valuable as some people give him credit for. Perhaps that is the case, but odds are it's not. Odds are Hampton's fine. Whoa, Diggs at 61. It's the team at 12, so I can always give the team at the bookend a pass. But kind of interesting to see Stephon Diggs reached on that much. But Egbuka goes 63. I was definitely planning to take Egbuka if I could get him at 67. So Egbuka moving up the board. Flowers falls to 64. Running backs really moving up the board, at least in this lobby. Very interesting. We see RJ Harvey, James Conner, Swift, and Pollard all inside the top 62. Pacheco off the board. I am on the clock now. And I wish I got T. Higgins because it would have been very tempting to take Joe Burrow, but there is not a good value at running back here at all. So we will go Rome Odunze, and this is probably going to be a Caleb Williams team. We got both DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, and that feels nice. It's not something that was very common for the big part of the offseason. Usually DJ Moore was going at like the late 4th round, that 4-5 turn. Meanwhile, Rome Odunze was going at the early 6th. And they were often on the opposite sides of the board. But I have seen DJ Moore fall a little bit. I think some people are hesitant about the Caleb Williams situation in training camp. He's not looking like elite. I think if Caleb plays well in the preseason this weekend, I think all of those concerns will go out the door. I think some of these prices might move up pretty quickly. But I'm happy to get the DJ Moore Rome Odunze stack. That feels pretty good. So we've got Baker as a stacking option. We've got Jared Goff as a stacking option, and then obviously we have Caleb Williams as a stacking option as well. But not going to force anything. We're going to try and let some stacks fall to us, some good values. That's probably the best way to win. Get the best values possible. But so far so good. I'm kind of surprised the team after us passed on Joe Burrow. They have T. Higgins. And the team with Chase Brown and Lamar Jackson does take Burrow at 69. So that team at 4 with double elite running back, double elite quarterback. They go Laporta, so they're only rolling with Rashee Rice and DK Metcalf through the first 7 rounds. That team at 4 is in a bit of a jam at receiver. I'm not that jealous of... Whoa, Debo at 78. Fuck yeah. I will happily scoop up this price on Debo. What happened here? That's kind of strange. It's been a while since I've seen Debo in round 7, let alone after Khalil Shakir, after Aaron Jones. That's kind of shocking. So this is feeling like a very unique team, thanks to some of the discounts we've gotten in the last 3 rounds. I'm very happy I started with double elite running back because our receiving core is very legit. Mike Evans, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze, plus Debo Samuel. I almost took Debo with the last pick. I actually have Debo ranked above Rome Odunze, following some of my most recent updates at the receiver position. Cobra saying NFL receiver drafting at the 1 slot. Yeah, we do have Rome Odunze here in this lobby with us. So he's in the lobby. But the full name on Team 1 is Rome Odunze Enjoyer. This guy enjoys Rome Odunze. That sounds like he's getting back shots in a Chicago hotel room every week. That's what that username sounds like. So we'll see what happens. Dev saying my biggest lesson from last year was don't draft guys who are not good for touchdowns, especially late in the draft. Yeah, some of the floor plays, especially in best ball, are not exactly like the best picks. That's one reason why I don't draft Wan'Dale Robinson. Even if he gets another 140 targets this year, I don't think he's a super valuable option. We could go Mahomes here, but we don't have a stacking option, so I'm going to pass. Instead, I will take one of my favorite receivers. Jaden Higgins has actually turned into my most drafted player, and it's really been like the last month. Once Darnell Mooney got hurt, and my round 8 auto click of Mooney is no longer viable, I have quickly pivoted to Jaden Higgins. And currently, Jaden Higgins is like, if not my most drafted player, my most drafted receiver. Like, maybe I still have more shares of Ray Davis than Jaden Higgins, but he has vaulted up my exposure list. I am in love with Jaden Higgins. This guy enjoys Rome Odunze. He just really, really enjoys him. Cobra says Debo isn't usually in round 7 because you're usually taking him in the 6th. I am ecstatic that I passed on Debo for Rome Odunze in the 6th in this draft. I almost clicked Debo at 67. I'm so happy I passed on him because to get him at 78 is phenomenal. Dev, yeah, you love Debo and Isaac Tesla. I got a question for you, Dev. Are you coming around on Torrey Horton? Or are you still committed to Isaac Tesla? Torrey Horton been getting some steam. Because I remember our discussion. We had that back and forth where you talked me off the ledge a little bit on Torrey Horton. But I'm back in, committed to Torrey Horton. Dak goes. We do not have a Cowboy, so that's okay. I should probably grab running back here or tight end. The position is really, really drying up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gamble that Caleb comes back around. And the way that I think ensures that is by taking Colston Loveland here. There was a big run on tight end here at the top of round 9. We saw Kelsey, Ingram, Andrews, and Njoku just go off the board. So if I take Loveland, and the only other stacking option in Chicago is Luther Burden. So unless some team in this round wants that Luther Burden stack, then nobody's going to be incentivized to take Caleb Williams. And I think Caleb will be back on the clock for me at pick 115. But Judkins goes 105. That's interesting. I did see the news today that Judkins, that trial is not going to happen. He is not going to press charges. He can still get suspended, though. He is still not signed his contract. He's still a gamble, but obviously a player that you can feel a bit more confident in today, knowing that the legal process will not go any further. But who knows? The NFL could still implement their policy. There is technically a suspension that could still happen for Judkins. Dev saying Horton always gets picked before I can get him. Yeah, now if you want Horton, you might as well take him at the top of the 16th round. You got to grab him. And at that point, like, the difference between a 15th and the 16th round pick is not that different. My policy is always like the last 4 rounds are all kind of the same. You can go anywhere you want in the last 4 rounds in terms of the ADP. If you get a big faller in ADP, someone that may be going around 13, I would probably just scoop him up in round 15 instead of Horton. But if you really want Horton, if you're setting up the Sam Darnold stack and you really are a believer, that's how I felt about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Anywhere in the last 4 rounds, round 15, 16, 17, and 18, take whoever the fuck you want. But yeah, I agree, Dev. You made a very solid argument when we were talking about it back a few weeks ago. I think Caleb Williams is the obvious pick here. I have DJ Moore, Rome, and Colston Loveland. I think I have no other choice but to take Caleb Williams here. But yeah, I've been high on Horton all summer, and he looks healthier than I thought he was going to be. My whole thesis was like, Cooper Kupp is not a safe guy to stay healthy at all. If Kupp goes down week 1, no one's going to be surprised. That's going to open up a lot of opportunity, and Horton will slide into that role. I don't trust MVS, even though he has experience in the Clint Kubiak offense. MVS did have some success last year in New Orleans, but I think Horton is far, far superior than MVS. So, but yeah, to your point, Dev, he built different. Horton's a stud. I'm surprised Horton didn't declare for the draft last year. Horton had a good enough seasons at Colorado State as a junior and sophomore. He didn't have to stay in college, in my opinion, but he did. I think he would have been a 3rd round pick if not for the injury, but because of the injury, he fell to the 5th. And I do think Seattle may have gotten a steal. Horton could be a very valuable piece this season, especially if Kupp does go down early. Dev still likes Tesla, though. I don't blame you. Tesla's very interesting. I just don't know if he will have the opportunity in year 1, given how the Lions use their pieces. Yo, Keenan off the board. This is possibly a pick that's going to burn me, but I say fuck it. I say let's go all in on Chicago. The only Bear I don't have is DeAndre Swift. We got every Bears pass catcher. Come on, Ben Johnson. Prove me right. We got Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, elite running back duo. Then we slammed receiver with Mike Evans, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Deebo Samuel, and Jaden Higgins. Then, just to lock up all of the Chicago investments, we go Colston Loveland above ADP, but I don't give a shit. I'm happy to take him here, just get a high-end tight end. We see Kyle Pitts go at 124. I don't want to be in that situation. I'm happy with my Loveland selection at 102. Then Caleb back around for that triple stack, and then Burden all the way back around at 126. We got the quadruple stack in Chicago. Maybe that's the combination you need. Last year, the winning formula was to draft every single Cincinnati Bengal, and Joe Burrow was going outside the top 100. So maybe this is what I need. Maybe this is a good combination. But with these 7 wide receivers, I am not drafting a receiver the rest of this draft. There is no effing chance I'm going to do that. But, ooh, Justin Herbert on the board. I don't have a stack with Herbo, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I have him ranked as my highest quarterback, and he also fell a full round. Let's go Justin Herbert here. There are still a couple options we can go with, even though Keenan's off the board. I'm sure the team right behind me is pissed. Yo, what is happening? There's some weird picks in this lobby. We see Rico Dowdle go at 140. Did something just happen to Chuba that I am unaware of? I was working on set today. I was on set since 6:30 in the morning, and I can't say I was glued to my phone the entire time. What the fuck happened to Chuba Hubbard? Why is Rico Dowdle going this high? Also, Najee going high. Najee's practicing, right? I think Najee may have started to practice. Yes, participates in some drills 2 days ago. Might not be ready week 1, but I still think Najee has some value. Granted, picking him at 141 feels a little high, but whoa, JCM in the 12th round? Damn, this guy's moving up the board. This is a weird lobby. This is a bold lobby. I'm here for it, though. We got some great values. And at least for this team, definitely bear down. Dev saying all the Lion stars popped year 1. That's not the case with JMO. Jameson Williams took 3 years. Technically, year 1, he didn't play. He was injured. But year 2, he was not good either. JMO took some time. QJ goes. I was kind of hoping to stack QJ. But I think I'm going to pass on Trey Harris. I think I need running back pretty badly. I wanted Ray Davis. Oh, I wanted the price discount on Ray Davis bad. We don't get it, though. I do not need a wide receiver. I need a running back pretty badly. So I'll go with the upside. Yeah, I'll take Jaden Blue. I really hope Braylon Allen circles back, but I don't know if Braylon Allen is ever going to be like the guy in New York. Like, Braylon's going to be involved. Brees is going to take a hit because of it, but Brees is in the last year of his contract, and even though they might not re-sign him, why would they not like give Brees Hall like a lot of touches and like run him into the ground, you know? Try and get as much value out of Brees Hall as you can before you let loose and move on. So Jaden Blue, probably going to be the RB1 in Dallas at some point. It might take 6 games, but I really don't trust Javonte to beat him out. I don't trust Miles Sanders very much. And I don't think Jaden Blue is really lazy like he was getting thrown under the bus earlier. Dev saying Rico actually very underpriced. We almost get Braylon Allen. He goes 161. Very close. Yeah, if Jaden Blue's really the guy, then he should be going, you know, where Javonte is going. Javonte went at 107 in this draft. Jaden Blue I got at 150. Happy with that. And then I could take Trey Harris, but again, we don't need receiver very much. I'm going to take Garendo. I know he's out for a few weeks. He got injured, but so did Jordan Mason. And Garendo was very valuable last year when he did fill in. So I'll take Garendo here at 163. I need some running back depth. And if he is the starter, because McCaffrey goes down, we have such a productive option. So I'll still grab Garendo. Garendo, one of my favorite picks last year when he was going undrafted. I had Garendo in some of my playoff teams. Garendo also helped me win the Subscriber League Championship. So I got a soft spot in my heart for Garendo a little bit. But interesting to see Geno Smith off the board. I know Michael Penix is falling. Penix is still available. That team goes Geno, Tyler Algier, Ty Johnson off the board. Yo, some of the teams at this side of the board here are just doing whatever the fuck they want. Ty Johnson goes undrafted most of the time. With the James Cook news, I would not expect him to be moving up the board. Okay, at this point, maybe I should take Trey Harris, but I think this price on Michael Penix is fantastic. We're pick 174. Michael Penix has an ADP of 141. I'm just going to take Michael Penix. I don't give a shit if I don't have a stack. I don't think is necessary. At this price, just give me Michael Penix. Because Caleb has elite upside, but I don't know if I trust his floor. Herbert is valuable, but some weeks he does not hit the ceiling. And then Penix, also like elite ceiling option. We got Penix. He normally goes in like the 12th round. How the fuck did he last till round 15? Like, this lobby is crazy. This draft board makes no sense, but I'm here for it. I'm happy to scoop up all the values I can get. Honestly, this team is fucking dope. We got Gibbs, Taylor, Jaden Blue, and Isaac Garendo at running back. Our tight end is Colston Loveland. We need some more, but that's still a good one to have. And then receivers fucking stacked. Evans, J-Mo, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Debo Samuel, Jaden Higgins, and Luther Burden. Yo, this team is dope. I really like this team. Hit that like button if you agree, if you like this team as well. Hit that like button. But we have 3 rounds left. Our last 3 picks are going to be a running back and tight end. I think I need at least 1 running back for sure. Could probably get away with just 5. I'll go Will Shipley. Shipley, just like Garendo, elite upside if Saquon goes down. He looked good in the preseason. Granted, I don't want to overreact to the preseason, but we just saw Keaton Mitchell go at pick 181. A lot of folks overreacting to the preseason. Torrey Horton goes round 16. That's the price. You got to grab him. But question is, do I grab 2 tight ends with this last pick? Do we trust the rookie Loveland in a crowded offense to carry us where we only need 1 other guy? I don't know if I trust him that much. Like, Loveland has elite upside, but I don't know if I trust him on a week in, week out basis to be, locked into like 8-10 points every week. I don't know about that. I think sometimes he can offer me like a 25-point game. It's one reason I love Loveland. But I don't know if he's the safest floor play in a crowded offense. So I'm going to grab tight end here in the 17th round, and then that way I can think about it in round 18, whether I'll go with the 6th running back or 3rd tight end. But I think I'm leaning 3rd tight end because we got Gibbs and Taylor, and then 3 very valuable backup running backs. I don't know if I need a 6th. If I didn't have Taylor, I probably would take a 6th, but when you think about your roster, like, how much is that 6th running back actually going to crack the lineup when you have Gibbs and Taylor? You know what I'm saying? So tight end is going to be the pick here, 100%. But given how I have Loveland in a very crowded offense, I don't think I want to go Cade Otton. He gets sniped, so that's fine with me. I'll pass on Cade Otton. And then some people like Mason Taylor, but he's got the high ankle sprain. Some people like Elijah Arroyo, but I'm going to go Theo Johnson. I like Theo Johnson. Sometimes rookie tight ends disappoint. Sometimes they can be really valuable, but sometimes they really disappoint. And I saw enough from Theo Johnson where I know he's going to be involved this year. I think the floor on Theo Johnson is actually very, very safe. And that number 2 target in the Giants offense is actually really up for grabs. Knowing that Russell Wilson is starting the season as the quarterback, I think he's going to have an eye for Theo Johnson. Russell Wilson loves the tight end position. He always has. Last year, Freiermuth was a borderline top 10 tight end with Russell Wilson. So I think Theo Johnson could pop. I've heard some good camp reports on Theo Johnson. And that's a team that is probably going to need to throw a lot. In general, I think Theo Johnson's valuable. So I'll take Theo Johnson here. Dev says Mason Taylor is practicing already. That's good to know. I can't say I was locked in on his practice reps. I just saw he had the high ankle sprain, and I kind of got a little spooked off of him for a while. Because I did take him like crazy for a substantial part of the offseason. So this last pick is between Jatavian Sanders, Elijah Arroyo. Could also go Terrence Ferguson, a rookie tight end I really like. Or Ben Sennett. And then at receiver, I don't think I'm going to grab receiver. I think we're loaded at that position. And then running back, I have Jaden Blue. Maybe I should go Miles Sanders, but I'm not dying to do it. And then some of these other picks, like the Kansas City running backs, don't make me that excited. Jonathan in here saying T-Ferg. You got it, Jonathan. We're going to go Terrence Ferguson. One of my favorite clicks at tight end. We got the floor play with Theo Johnson, the elite upside with Loveland, and then another very high upside option in Terrence Ferguson. I'm a little worried about Jimmy Garoppolo, but still I think Ferguson will beat out Tyler Higbee, and I have been drafting him all offseason. I like Terrence Ferguson quite a bit. So this is the final roster. I think the team is really good, actually. We went with a 3-5-7-3 build, but we heavily invested in running back early and wide receiver. This is the final outcome. We have Caleb Williams with every Chicago Bear except DeAndre Swift. We have Herbert unstacked, but at a good price, 14 picks past ADP. And then we have Penix also unstacked, but at a fantastic value. We have Penix 33 picks past ADP. That is not something I'm ever going to pass on. Penix that late? What the fuck were these people smoking? Running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Jaden Blue, Garendo, and Will Shipley. Elite upside with the handcuffs, and then elite production at the top. Let's just hope everyone stays healthy. That will be good. Every bye week is also different, so that also feels good. And then at wide receiver, we have Mike Evans, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Debo Samuel, Jaden Higgins, Luther Burden. Tight end, Colson Loveland, Theo Johnson, Terrence Ferguson. I love this team. I think this was a fantastic team. Phenomenal value up and down the board. And then this overloaded Chicago Bears stack. Damn, I am very happy with this team. Reflect the Sun agrees. What were these guys smoking? So to celebrate, we're going to smoke some stuff ourselves. We are going to take a quick rip from the pipe. If you would like to join me, I hope you're ready. Go ahead and smoke it if you got it. There it is. Y'all were probably waiting. When is this fool going to take a rip? Anyways, we are doing another one. We're going to do another puppy. And we got some people watching. So if you do want to join me this time, it's going to be easier to accomplish that if that's what you want. We are entering the $5 Puppy 3 tournament, 20-second pick clock. I hope you're ready. I hope you got it. I will drop it in the chat. I think I'm going to start letting you guys know in the chat when I join. So when you see the comment joining now, that's when you hop in. Join right now. One spot left. Ooh, sometimes it just fills too quickly. Sometimes it fills too quickly. We got Jettas in here. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Dev is fried already. Good for you, man. Reflect the sun. Yo, I am starting to believe that the Falcons are going to win the division. I have not posted my NFC South win-loss picks yet, but I'm buying in on the Falcons. Even without Darnell Mooney, I think they're going to be very good. Let's pull up the Falcons schedule real quick. Reflect the Sun says 6 primetime games. Let's take a look. Here it is on the screen. What pick do we have? We have pick 6 again, so we have some time. And here is the Falcons schedule. Let's play a game, shall we? We got Tampa in week 1. On paper, that should be an L. But if you actually look into it, Atlanta owns the Bucks. They swept them last year with Cousins. I think they're going to at least beat them once this year. Week 1, give me Atlanta over Tampa. Week 2, I think they lose to Minnesota. Week 3, at Carolina, that's a toss-up. I'll give it to the Panthers. I think they split this season. Washington, though, I think they can upset Washington. And I also have them upsetting the Bills. I think off the bye, they're going to upset Buffalo. Then we got a game against San Francisco, Miami, New England, the Colts, Carolina again, New Orleans, New York, the Jets, Seattle, Tampa, Arizona, LA, and New Orleans to close it out. Those 2 games against the Saints are automatic dubs. And honestly, I think it's hard to find less than 10 wins for the Falcons. I think they're an 11-win team this year, and I think that can win the division this season. We're going to go Christian McCaffrey. Some injury risk for sure, but you know who else has injury risk? Justin Jefferson. Jefferson's the one that's banged up right now, not McCaffrey. McCaffrey reportedly looks very good at camp. Maybe you trust Kyle Shanahan. Maybe it's a smokescreen. But in best ball, I will happily take a gamble on McCaffrey. In best ball, you need the ceiling. Let's go McCaffrey. Reflect the Sun, a longtime UW Husky fan. Never seen a better quarterback other than Warren Moon. I can't say I watched... I've never been a diehard college football viewer. I wish I could get into it, but these days I don't have the time, and I've also never had like a team to root for. The USC, what was it like? They got fined, they got penalized. Like there was a lot of things holding USC back after the Pete Carroll days. But like if USC had not fallen off a cliff, I would probably care about college football a lot more. But I have a theory, and this is something I've completely concocted on my own. There is no evidence I have to prove this. But this is my personal theory of why Los Angeles got some football teams. Pete Carroll was given the Seahawks job, was given a coaching job in the NFL, in exchange for breaking all of the NCAA rules at USC. After he did that and they got suspended, he put USC in the gutter. USC was really in the shitter for a long time because of what Pete Carroll did with that program. We went with Taylor on the last one. Let's go double running back again, and this time I'm going to go Bucky Irving. Give me Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving's a stud. Anyway, so Pete Carroll wrecked the future for USC, and therefore football in Los Angeles became a vacuum. There was no team for LA football fans to root for. And after such a long drought, the city wanted football back, and there was the market for it. We finally got the Rams and the Chargers in 2017. And then only once they started to be, somewhat legit, then they brought in Lincoln Riley. And honestly, the Trojans still kind of suck. The Trojans have been a big disappointment with Lincoln Riley. But my personal conspiracy theory is that the NFL got Pete Carroll to put USC in the shithole in exchange for a coaching job so that they could have a big market in LA that was devoid of a single team because the USC Trojans fucking sucked. The Trojans were such a big brand. Do you remember that Trojan USC versus Texas game when they had Vince Young? Yo, I live like 5 minutes from the Rose Bowl. That shit was popping. Like, that was peak football in Los Angeles. I've never felt more invigorated to be a football fan in LA since that amazing Rose Bowl game when Vince Young sadly beat our ass. That was a disappointing loss, to say the least. But it's funny because the Rose Bowl is like the home field for UCLA, but then they host the Rose Bowl game, and like that's fucking a huge deal, you know? But if the Trojans can ever make it to the Rose Bowl game, like it's pretty obvious the city's so much more excited about USC than UCLA. Anyways, the Michael Vick. I'm thinking of Reggie Bush. The Reggie Bush days. Why did I say Michael Vick? Those Reggie Bush days were fucking amazing. And that was after that Rose Bowl game. That wasn't even at the same time as that Rose Bowl game. They had a dynasty for like a little while. They were so good back in the day. If only they could get back there. Reflect the Sun says, without Wirfs too, JJ is really rough. I could easily see them beat Minnesota as well. Yeah, I think without Chris Godwin and Wirfs, the Bucks are going to have a bumpy beginning of the season. And because of that, even though they're an elite team, I think they could lose the division to the Falcons, who, if they start red hot, might sweep them again. Falcons are really interesting. I think Penix is legit. We are a Penix believer on this channel. I've ignored receiver for this long. We got to get back in. I will go Xavier Worthy. I think he is the receiver to own in Kansas City. Let's go with Xavier Worthy at 43. The team has McCaffrey, Bucky Irving, Lamar Jackson, and Xavier Worthy. And you know these next like 3 rounds are going to be wide receiver picks. Unless we get a great value on Kenneth Walker. But we passed on him in the last draft, and I think it was still probably a wise decision. But I want this team to be a little different. So maybe I go Kenneth Walker at the next pick. But probably should go with wide receiver again. Fantasy Dog, thank you for joining the number 7 like. Reflect the Sun is in on Penix Jr., Geno, and Lamar, all at 27%. Those are some good players to bet on. Love the price on Geno. Even though he's not elite, he's going too late. I don't see much of a difference between Geno Smith and Trevor Lawrence. They were both putting up the same numbers in fantasy last year. And they're both in a much better situation with a much better play caller. Like, Chip Kelly's going to make Geno look good. Not just Genty. And then Liam Cohen's going to make Trevor Lawrence look good. But Lawrence goes like 4 rounds earlier than Geno. On the clock, Kenneth Walker has been taken. I would much rather have Calvin Ridley than Chuba Hubbard. So we're going to go with Ridley. One of my favorite picks in the 5th round. Happy to have him. Yo, this is... It's funny that those two are like fucking rivals too. Like, those two guys hate each other. It's funny that they both break a bunch of rules and then just leave for the NFL. Great comparison, Reflect the Sun. That's hilarious. Pete Carroll, one of just 2 coaches to win a Natty and Super Bowl. His record at USC is just amazing. Yeah, he's an underrated, like, elite coach. His teams also won 7 consecutive Pac-10 championships from 02 to 08 and appeared in 7 consecutive BCS Bowls, including 2 BCS championship games. Damn, you are on your shit with with this Pete Carroll record. Good for you, man. Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but you can see how it has like some chance at being what happened. Question is, if Jim Harbaugh's in the same situation, if he's in the same situation, then did he put Michigan football in a jam? No, he didn't. They're not being penalized for it. Like he got suspended, but the team didn't have a big impact. I was going to say, in exchange for the Lions being great, did he bend the rules with Michigan? But when you think about it, the Lions were great when he was still with the Michigan. So, no, I can't think of a similar conspiracy with Jim Harbaugh. But I guess when you know intuitively that you're going to the NFL after this job, you're more willing to burn the bridge on your way out. Oh, you guys want me to set this up for you after I'm gone? Nah. Nah, I'll pass. Yo, I don't like drafting Waddle, but this price is worth it. I still have Pearsall ranked higher, but I think this lobby has left me no other choice but to take Jalen Waddle. I think I would be foolish to pass on Waddle at 67. That's the thing. I'm extremely underweight on Waddle. Pearsall goes the next pick, so I kind of regret it. But Waddle never falls this far. So if I am going to take him, I want him at a big discount, given I very rarely draft him. Like, I swear my exposure on Waddle and Tyreek Hill is like 5%. Like, maximum 5%. And that might really burn me, especially if, like, Tyreek Hill gets traded to a really good situation and then Waddle finishes the year with like 150 targets. I may regret it. But I'm starting to think that the Dolphins are going to be competing for the number one overall pick in the draft next year. I could see them suck ass. I could see them be one of the worst teams in the league, man. Like, I don't think it's impossible that the Dolphins are like bottom two in the NFL this season. Sure. Sorry, I'm talking with someone off camera. um, uh, I'm going to take my highest ranked receiver. I don't care that I'm reaching on him. Give me Jaden Higgins. This team needs depth at receiver. And I don't really want Jaden Reed right now with his toe injury. That feels a little risky. I've seen him fall a lot of the time to round 8. Josh Downs is a valid pick here. I could have gone Josh Downs for sure, but I just prefer Jaden Higgins. I think the ceiling for Jaden Higgins is like truly a league winner, especially in best ball. Meanwhile, with Josh Downs, like the floor plays don't really move the needle very much. And Josh Downs is one of the best floor plays. I think in redraft, give me Josh Downs in the flex almost every single week. I'd happily bank 10 points per game with Josh Downs. Josh Downs, very safe pick in redraft. Best ball, though, Richardson craters this production. Every Colts receiver was so much worse last year with Richardson. And it's not like Daniel Jones is that good. I just don't see a shit ton of touchdowns in the Colts offense. I'd rather bet on the Texans. I do have the Bucky Irving bring back on Waddle. I was not thinking about that at all. I'll be completely honest. That was not part of my thinking. I was just considering the price. But that is a very valid point. happy to have that. Big fan of Pete here in the chat. Got an autographed thank you card from Pete Carroll after you sent him. Yo, this is a 1940s USC banner. I'm sure he appreciated that. That's dope, man. Yo, Laporta in the 8th? I was going to go TJ Hawkinson, but I'll take this discount on Laporta. Fuck yeah. ADP 75? We get him pick 91? Fuck yeah. After Kelsey? That's insane. I do not want Travis Kelsey over Laporta. Fuck that. Team 11. I mean, honestly, every team in the 8th round. What are y'all doing? Laporta this late? I'll happily scoop that up. Juan Cisneros is asking, do you think Evan Ingram can be a top 5 tight end this season under Sean Payton and Bo Nix as his quarterback? I think it's possible. I wouldn't say he can't be a top 5 tight end. I don't have him ranked at 5, but I have him very close to that. I think he's going to be a top 8 tight end guaranteed, and I do think he has top 5 upside. If the touchdowns can finally hit for Ingram, then I think he could be like a top 3 tight end potentially. I think he really has that upside. If he operates like Jimmy Graham, Ingram could be the tight end you need this season. But if you look at Ingram's numbers, let's pull it up on Pro Football Reference while we can. I'm about to be on the clock, so no, I got 3 picks. We can look at Ingram's stats. Ingram does not score touchdowns. The most touchdowns Ingram has ever scored is 6, and that was in his rookie season. And then he's maxed out at 4. Last year he only had 1. And while I do think he'll probably get back to 4 this season, I don't know if he's going to go over 6 touchdowns. Damn, I wish Mark Andrews was here. Can't go Andrews, though. Instead, I think I'll go Rashid Shaheed. Nah, I'll get back in at running back with a little more risk with Christian McCaffrey. I'll go Zach Charbonnet. Sharbs is top 10 when he's the starter. So one of the most valuable handcuffs you can find. In best ball, I'll happily take Charbonnet just above ADP. But could have gone Cooper Kupp there. Could have gone Shaheed. Could have gone Mooney. But I even think Rashad Bateman is a good pick for us in the next round, given we have Lamar. So there's some options at receiver right now. Let's go Charbonnet. But yeah, this is Evan Ingram's overall stats. He is 30 years old, but tight ends age a bit more gracefully. Like, tight ends can still be very productive past the age of 30. Like, look at Zach Ertz last year. Kelsey, still pretty productive. One reason why I'm not that worried about Andrews. But one red flag with Ingram is that he has missed a lot of games. Like, in his rookie season, he missed a game. Then he missed 5 games the year after that. Then he missed half the season in 2019. And then while he did play all 17 games 2 years in Jacksonville, last year he was down to 9 games played. So Ingram does have a lot of injury risk that comes with him. And so maybe the touchdowns are just not going to be there. But on a per-game basis, I think he will be, at worst, like tight end 8. I think Ingram is a valuable pick. But he's still on the board. The team with Bo Nix did pass. And then Njoku went above him. Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland went up. What's going on with Njoku? Why is this the second draft in a row where Njoku's going like a round and a half, 2 rounds above ADP? Am I missing something on Njoku? Or is it just like Shadur Sanders hype? I kind of want to take Shaheed. However, I think Drake May is a really good option, and I don't have like a lot of stacking options that I like. So I'm gonna go with Drake May, someone I can get unstacked. And who knows, maybe I still get a good value on Shaheed and Bateman. Even Burden, I think, is a fine pick. So I'm going to take Drake May. Now I'm done at quarterback. I got Laporta, Drake May, and Lamar Jackson at the onesies. We got CMC, Bucky Irving, and Zach Charbonnet at running back. And then wide receivers a bit thin, but I think we have decent options at the top four. We have Xavier Worthy, Calvin Ridley, Waddle, Jaden Higgins. But we have passed on receiver each of the last 3 rounds. Got to get back in pretty soon. Fantasy Dog saying Fannin talk. Yeah, but here's the thing. Fannin is like getting a lot of hype. Wouldn't that diminish some of Njoku's hype? Like, that's where I'm confused. Like, if Fannin is moving up the board, why is Njoku also going 2 rounds more expensive? Maybe it's just the puppy where shit's wild. Like, the puppy's weird. Our last draft was a good example of that. Fancy Dog saying JJ Zacharyson does not like Laporta. There are reasons to be skeptical about Laporta, but I still think he has one of the highest ceilings you can find. And I think the Lions are going to find themselves in a bit more even games. And I do think the passing game script is going to be pretty good in the fourth quarter, a lot more this year. So I'm not terrified of Laporta. I don't think he's in the same class as Kittle or the other top 3 options, but I do think he's a good guy to draft. So, I don't love some of these picks here. Thought I'd get a good receiver. So I'll go Tucker Kraft, and now we're done at both tight end and quarterback. So far we have 0 stacks, but it's not the end of the world. Because both of our quarterbacks both have rushing value. So it's not the end of the world. But I will say I kind of prefer the team we just drafted with that massive Bears stack. That was pretty cool. This team is still good. I still think this team is very competitive. Receiver is not as strong though, and that could burn us. But our last remaining picks are just strictly running back and wide receiver. We have 7 picks left. I think 2 of them are going to be running backs. I think we're going to stop at 5 RBs. And that means this might be a 9 receiver build. I think that's what we're going to end up with. 9 wide receivers on this team. But Braylon Allen goes right behind Tank Bigsby. That's actually how I rank it. I do have Bigsby back-to-back with Braylon Allen. They're both in my top 40. I think that's a very fair price on Braylon Allen. I think once Bigsby is off the board, you can scoop up Braylon Allen. So kind of unfortunate to know that now he's an 11th round pick. I used to take him a lot in the 16th. And I'm glad I got my exposure while that was the asking price. I think we're going to take Demario Douglas here because I wanted Keenan Allen on this team, and he's off the board. And I think I'll still have a decent running back on the way back. Let's go Demario Douglas to stack up with Drake May. Let's at least get 1 stack on the team. But BKGJ asking, you good at DFS or best ball is your preferred? Best ball is generally my preferred, but I do DFS on occasion. In the regular season, we do rankings for like start sit in your regular redraft, but some of the research I do does help for DFS as well. Like it's kind of somewhat geared towards that a little bit. And so while I play DFS a little bit, I don't do it often enough. And I wouldn't say I'm like amazing at it, you know, like sometimes I have a really good team. Sometimes I don't even come close. I don't like share my DFS entries on the channel though. We only we, I share like a pick'em on the Thursday night game, but otherwise I don't give off too many uh gambling slips. We could go Kyle Williams as well, but I I'm not a big Kyle Williams guy. I've also seen him fall really late, so I think I'm gonna pass on Kyle Williams. And just like the last draft, I think we got a really good price on Jaden Blue, and he's here at the ADP once again at pick 150. I like having him on the roster, so let's go Jaden Blue. Charbonnet, not a guarantee to be in our lineup that often. So let's get someone who could still be the RB1 in their respective offense. Let's go Jaden Blue. And I'll probably like rotate with wide receiver and running back. Actually, no, only one of these last remaining picks is going to be running back. So I might go double wide receiver in the next 2 rounds. We'll see. But some of these late round wide receivers I don't feel good about. I'm fine passing on them if the running back market is worth it. JCM goes at the 13-14 turn. So the last lobby we saw, he went at the 12-13 turn. And now he's looking like a 13th round pick. So now I'll probably cool it on JCM. Officially above Eckler in the ADP. I'm glad I got a lot of Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt when he was undrafted. Because not only was I getting him round 18, but I'm also one of the few teams in some of the early tournaments with a Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt on the bench. And that feels nice to see him rising up the board. But I would prefer if he was still under the radar, not going to lie. But if you were tuning into this channel back in May, I was drafting JCM back in those days. Tempting to go Hunter Henry here because we have Drake May, but instead I'm going to go with Tyler Algier. And then all of my like remaining picks will be wide receivers. I'm going to stick to my plan. This is a 9 wide receiver team. And let's get the elite upside with Tyler Algier. Sorry, let me catch up with the chat. I've ignored it for a little bit. Thought Njoku was falling. Yeah, that's why I was confused. I thought maybe he might fall as well. That's these puppies just have weird picks sometimes. Does not have as big of an edge as DFS, I think. DFS is weird where like what I've noticed is stacking is so critical in DFS. Whenever I've won money in DFS and I have like one of the best rosters, it was like games when I was stacking Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. Like I remember I won a decent amount in DFS one week. I remember that week that they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the regular season, the year that Tampa ended up winning the championship. And that was the game when Tyreek hit the deuces on the corner and he put up like 200 yards in the first quarter. I remember I had that Chiefs stack in DFS that week and I won some good money. So that would be my recommendation for DFS. Also stack, because that's going to help you. Because if you're right on a stack, then you're more likely to be right in terms of the upside overall of your team. But I need a receiver. I'm going to go Quentin Johnston. I still think he's somewhat valuable. Like Keenan joining the Chargers definitely wrecks the value of Trey Harris and Quentin Johnston. But I don't feel convinced that the wide receiver 3 in LA is that much less valuable than Keenan. And I believe that Quentin Johnston is going to be more valuable than Trey Harris. So I think the price on Quentin Johnston should be where Trey Harris is being drafted, and that those two guys should be flipped. Like, I think QJ should probably go in like the 13th round, around pick 150 where we took Jaden Blue. Trey Harris is going a little too high if the role I'm envisioning for QJ actually goes to him. Like, I'd rather take Trey Harris in the 13th round, even if this role is correct that I'm predicting. But for QJ to be going 3 rounds later than Trey Harris, I will scoop up QJ at 174. Damn, Torrey Horton goes at 180. Sadly, we are not going to get Torrey Horton. I am ranking guys like that. I believe this is in reference to Tank Bigsby and Braylon Allen. I think they're very valuable in season long. I think they have a very high floor every week. Now, they can easily be overtaken by like Tyler Algier if Bijan goes down, but they're going to have way more weekly value in your lineup on the bench to start the season. I like Braylon Allen as a floor play, but he probably doesn't crack 10 points very often. That's the thing. Like, you need to be in a deep format to actually start Braylon, but I think he should be drafted. It seems that 3 quarterback builds have been a big trend this season. Hopkins goes, so not going to get the stack for Lamar. And maybe I should consider another quarterback. Maybe we don't draft 9 receivers. But Darnold is one of the last guys you can actually like tolerate and feel good about. The receiver depth completely dried up. You know what? Let's go with 3 quarterbacks. Fancy Dog, you're talking me into it. Let's go with 3 quarterbacks. Darnold also at a good price. ADP 179. We get him 187. So 8 picks past ADP, not bad. But unstacked, not ideal. Wish I could at least pair him with Torrey Horton. I do have Zach Charbonnet, though. Charbonnet is a pass catcher, so not terrible. Let's hear it, BK. Who are some of these players that you like? I would love to know your thoughts. Coker, Tesla, Mingo, Roman, Trey T. Who's Trey T? I'm having a hard time thinking of who Trey T is. But Juan with another question. Do you think George Pickens breaks out this season in Dallas? I think he's going to score the most touchdowns he's ever put up in his life. I think he's going to have at least 8 touchdowns, maybe double digits. And I think that's what's going to carry him to being a decent pick. I do have him as a top 30 wide receiver. The true ceiling for him is if Lamb misses some time. If CeeDee Lamb ever goes down, then Pickens is a top 10 wide receiver probably. But I do think he's going to have a good season. I think he'll be okay. In a contract year, I think he's going to get paid next year. And whether it's with the Cowboys or someone else, I think he's going to give someone a good reason to pay him a decent contract next year. I'm going to go A.D. Mitchell because I think he might be this year's Alec Pierce. I think A.D. Mitchell will be better than Alec Pierce this season. Might be wrong. Maybe Pierce is still legit. But A.D. Mitchell was like this close on like a lot of deep shots last year. He was actually very close to scoring some big touchdowns. He just got overthrown or like badly missed by Richardson. And maybe that happens again. Maybe it's not going to happen. But the season we were hoping for with A.D. Mitchell last year went to Alec Pierce. And now everyone's just assuming Pierce is going to be that guy again, the number 3 in this offense, it might be AD Mitchell. BK likes the QJ idea. Yeah, I think the rotation for wide receiver 2 in the Chargers offense is going to be pretty random. So in best ball, I'm happy to take QJ at a big discount. He used to go pick like 140, get him at 174. I could still see him score like 8 touchdowns. That's what he did last year. Yeah, it's easy to be vaguely high on players and stuff, but I did put out my most recent running back rankings update, and I do have Braylon Allen. I think he's the last player in the top 40. I think he's right on the edge of 40, 41. Mother Tucker. Trey Tucker, of course. Yeah, he's a fast guy. You know, it's possible that that's the stack you need with Geno. But I do have a lot of Dante Thornton. Isaiah Davis is also kind of interesting, to your point, BK. Isaiah Davis, but as long as Breece Hall is still healthy, I'm not really dying to take the third Jets running back. That's not my like favorite thing to do. But I do like Elik Ayamanor this late. Elik Ayamanor appears to be vying for the X receiver in this offense, and he's competing with another rookie. Meanwhile, Chimeri DK is competing with Tyler Lockett for the slot role. Ayamanor is not a slot receiver. So Ridley's definitely the guy you want. We have Ridley on this team. So I wish I got Cam Ward, but we would have had to taken him instead of Demario Douglas. We did not get a good price on Cam Ward, so it's fine. But I do think Elik Ayamanor will have a substantial role on a team that has a terrible defense and a good quarterback. I think there is some legit garbage time value at the very least for Ayamanor. And in round 18, he's basically my new Torrey Horton. The new rookie that I am very excited about in round 18 is Elik Ayamanor. I did not draft him very much this offseason because I wasn't sure about the rotation with Tyler Lockett and Chimeri DK. There was a point in time when I thought maybe Xavier Restrepo would be involved. But now, based on the reporting I'm hearing, Ayamanor is definitely going to have a role. And they have a lot of targets up for grabs. Like, there are very few reliable options in Tennessee, especially with Tyjae Spears going down. Tyjae does catch a lot of passes. So I am optimistic for Elik Ayamanor. Here is the final roster. We do not have a single stack other than Demario Douglas. That's probably going to hold me back. But I got Lamar Jackson, Drake May, and Sam Darnold. I have a great quarterback room. At running back, we have McCaffrey, Bucky Irving, Charbonnet, Jaden Blue, and Tyler Algier. So all we need is for in the fantasy playoffs for Bijan to go down, and we have the running back that wins it all, Tyler Algier. I think we can get some really good production that advances us with the rotation we have. But if Algier pops, we are living. And then at receiver, we got Xavier Worthy, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle at a big discount, Jaden Higgins, Demario Douglas, Quentin Johnston, A.D. Mitchell, and Elik Ayamanor. Some big risk at the bottom of this wide receiver room, but I think it's viable to work out. And then I do love the values we got at these receiver picks. Like, yeah, I reached on Higgins, but I don't give a shit. We got Waddle 12 picks past ADP, and then we did get Ridley past ADP as well. Same with Worthy. I think this team is good. And then the tight end room, even though it's unstacked, also very legit. 2 top 10 tight ends in Laporta and Kraft. I like the team. I just wish I had more stacks. That's the only thing I'm missing on this roster. Anyways, we're going to do one more, and we will be hopping into a puppy one more time. We're going to stay in the puppy. These have been very interesting lobbies. I've loved some of the values we've gotten so far. Let's press our luck again. Let's join the puppy. So I'm going to drop it in the chat. When you see it, go ahead and join with me. And let's get in here. 7 spots. 7 spots. If you want to test your luck, come get it. But Tyler Haynes saying, got the 103 in my keeper league, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. My best options are Nico round 3 and McBride round 5. Which would you go with? Very good question. Is this full PPR or is this half PPR? Also, is this a 10-team league or a 12-team league? Because I'm leaning Nico Collins. But if it's a much bigger league or if it's just half PPR, I might go with McBride. But I think odds are, regardless of what the format is, I think I'm gonna go Nico Collins. Nico is money in the bank when he's healthy. Nico's super valuable. And I know McBride is also very valuable, but I think I'd rather have Nico Collins. But let me know what those league settings are. That might change my answer. BK saying Alec Pierce is quite good. He's not bad. He's definitely not bad. But he did not play well in his rookie season. It took him a while to break out, even though he was a second-round pick. And I did feel really confident in A.D. Mitchell last year. So maybe some, hopes that my original take on A.D. Mitchell will ripen and look pretty good over time. But it might not. I'm going to make this pick, and then I'm going to grab some water, and I'll be right back. But I see Dev is in here with us at pick 3. I see KS Cash also in here at pick 12. I believe that is Alex Ott. If anybody has one of these other picks, let me know. But do I go McCaffrey again? I don't think so. Let's mix it up. Let's have a different squad. And let's avoid some risk. Let's go Nico Collins. I just told you I'll take Nico Collins in a keeper league. Let's take him here at pick 6. High on Simi Fehoko, but don't want to have others worry about the wasting a pick. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go Fehoko. Is he also in Tennessee? Where is Fehoko playing? Because I know they brought in Gunnar Helm. Oh, he's in Arizona. Okay, Arizona. I mean, the Cardinals is an offense I think has up for grab targets. And if you paid attention to the Chargers last year, Fehoko wasn't like the worst in the world. But Dev saying he's in the CFL. According to Over the Cap, he does have a contract worth $250,000 is signing bonus. The contract worth $1.7 million, fully guaranteed $1.25. I think he'll be on the Cardinals roster if they guaranteed him $1.2. But he was somewhat interesting for the Chargers. He played tight end though, but he's like a weird receiver tight end mix. That would be very, very sneaky, but I don't think I'm going to draft him. I don't feel... Personally, I'm not confident enough in Kyler Murray to value the third target behind Harrison and Trey McBride. Personally, I'm just not a Kyler guy. But Ladd is here. We're going to go antithetical to our previous drafts and take Ladd McConkey. And although I don't rank him this high anymore, I'm kind of worried, to be honest with you, that he's more of a third-round pick these days. I will take Ladd McConkey because we get the Week 17 bringback of Texans-Chargers. We'll get the Texans-Chargers game. Wide receiver ones in that matchup. That might be a very heavy defense game, both defenses are pretty good, but that could also be a shootout. Rematch of last year's wild card game. But we're going to find out if I butchered this draft already, if we hate our running backs as this draft unfolds. This is the opposite of general my preferred strategy. I like going elite running back so much more than elite double wide receiver. So we're going to have to get back in on that position. Hampton goes. We can't pair Hampton with McConkey, but that's all right. Harrison off the board. I wish McBride was here, but Jacobs goes. Damn. So close to getting Jacobs. Fuck. We took Lamar on the last team. Let's go Kittle. Let's just take Kittle. It's probably the wrong pick. I think Lamar over Kittle is probably the wiser choice. The team immediately after us doesn't even hesitate. They go with Lamar. But I'm just trying to have a different roster than the team we just drafted. We just took Lamar on the last team. So listen to me when I tell you this. Lamar should definitely go above Kittle, but I'm willing to shake it up here. I don't want to grab a receiver here. We have Nico and Ladd. Damn, that snipe on Jacobs fucking hurts. But Jacobs was falling. It makes sense. Wish I had Jacobs on this team. But it's kind of funny that this is the third straight draft we got pick 6. That's kind of interesting. Who let Adam smoke before he started the draft? I did not smoke before I started the draft. I did not. I did say I was going to get some water, though, and I did not. So maybe after this pick, I will grab some water. I got to be fast, though. That's the thing about being in the middle. You don't have a lot of time to wait between one pick and the next. I will say Alec Pierce is a legit athlete. Underrated athlete. But I'm still a believer in A.D. Mitchell, just a little bit. And I don't have much A.D. Mitchell. I want a few shares of A.D. Mitchell before the season, the summer is over. I would agree, Deb. Being in the middle, you often get like fantastic values. Let's lower the intensity there. I'm losing daylight, so the shadows have become more stark. I turned on my second lamp. Kenneth Walker off the board. Oh man, I hope I don't regret my Kittle pick here. Oh, thank God. I thought this team was going to go Travion Henderson. I don't need a receiver on this team. I need a good running back before they dry up. Give me Travion. Seems like y'all really like Alec Pierce in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna be fast. I'm gonna try and not miss out on my next pick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back in time. Oh, I got plenty of time to spare. We still got 4 picks. We're good. But I think I still have one rip left in this pipe. So if you want to, you can join me if you like. I'll be back in just a second. Not much. Bit of a disappointing rip, I'll be honest. But better than nothing. Okay. I should probably grab another running back here, given the team I have. But RJ Harvey goes off. My preferred option. We took this big discount on DJ Moore already, and we got our Bears stack already out of the way. This team takes him, so happily I don't have to do that. I want to take Sutton here. I'll be honest with you, taking Sutton feels like the right move, but I like my receiving core. I don't like my running back room, and I feel like I'm probably going to get sniped coming back around. I'm just going to go Chuba Hubbard. I'll take Chuba. We got the double week 14 bye at running back, but that's okay. I think this team just needs running back depth. Oof. But then Zay Flowers, Devontae Smith. Wow, Sutton is falling. Someone's about to get a really good price on Sutton. If he goes round 6, that's going to be crazy. Metcalf off the board. Even Travis Hunter off the board. Damn, this is very interesting. Cash goes Kamara. But back on the clock goes Debo. Yo, what's the deal with Sutton right now? Is there news on Sutton that I'm missing? The fuck? No. There's no blurb. Mahomes? The fuck? At this point, I'm starting to think I'm just going to get Sutton at 67. Like, seems like nobody wants him. There he goes. It's about fucking time. Okay, so that team at 10 with a very unique combo. It's a shame they have Breece Hall. Breece Hall, I think, is probably a losing pick in round 4. I'm a Breece Hall hater this year. I'll own it, and I might be dead wrong, but I'm a Breece Hall hater. And Swift is there, but I think we've waited long enough. I'll get back in at receiver. I do have Igbuka ranked higher, but I have Kittle, and this could easily be a Brock Purdy team with the Ricky Pearsall edition. So let's take Pearsall. And maybe I get Juwan Jennings at 78. That'd be cool. Jamie wants Sutton. Are you in here, Jamie? I don't recognize your handle. No, you're not in this lobby with me. But yeah, Sutton at 63. Damn. Shit, I'm behind on the chat. Sorry, guys. Two Mules in a Cart just subscribed. Thank you very much, my friend. Welcome aboard. Appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. If anyone is enjoying this live and they are not subscribed, consider being like Two Mules and a Cart. Hit that subscribe button if you have enjoyed this video. Hit that like button as well if you've been with us for the majority of this draft. Drop a like or a subscription. But if Jawan is on the... Damn, Swift goes pick 74. I could go Pollard as well. Addison goes. Now let's make this a full Brock Purdy team. Let's go Juwan Jennings. But Pollard was a justified click there. The team after me, I'm sure, very happy to take him. They only have Pacheco and Pollard at running back. But we have a big Niners stack. So we could also take Ayuk technically. And this would be like our first draft of the live stream, where we take 4 pass catchers in Chicago and pair them with Caleb Williams. Here we already have 3 pass catchers in San Francisco. And what's interesting is they also play the Bears that final week of the season. But I think the team is okay. Juan saying pick 1 with Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Chase Brown. Yeah. Oh, okay. The team 1 has that stack. Yeah. The only thing better than having that stack is getting Burrow at pick 72, not taking him at 49. That's the only thing that's better than what that team has. But they also have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Bit risky. But it always feels good to have the Joe Burrow triple stack. Looks like Jamie is back. Y'all seem to like, I think this is in regards to the Chuba Hubbard selection. Not a fan of B-Rob. Mixon scares the shit out of me. I do like Jalen Warren. However, it's pick 91, and Josh Downs with an ADP of 82 is still on the board. I will take Josh Downs. I trust Josh Downs. 9 picks past ADP. I will take him in the 8th round. Happily. Give me Josh Downs here. But Two Mules says, Harvey went off. I haven't gotten off in months. I'm praying for you, man. I hope that dry spell turns around for you. Good luck this weekend. We're manifesting that you meet a nice lady this weekend. Jamie killed his draft for the podcast. Nice to hear. BK is liking the team, and I like it as well. I think we're in pretty good shape. I can't say I feel as confident in our running back room, but I do feel optimistic about it. I think it can get the job done. And our receiving core is pretty phenomenal. So this does feel like a solid team. Love it when we got the elite tight end Kittle as well. But we did reach on Kittle. Maybe that was a mistake. Jamie goes St. Brown, Genty, Hampton, and Kittle with the first 4 picks. Hampton at a very good price. I like that. Yeah, he's a 4th round pick now. I think it's undoubtedly so. But running back's just been moving up a lot lately. That's the trends the last month. Like, running back has gotten so much more pricey. Interesting to see what's happening at quarterback. Kyler not taken yet. I'm not taking Kyler. We are 100% taking Brock Purdy here. He could fall back around, but I'm loaded at receiver. I'm not going to take Charbonnet for the 2nd draft in a row, even though I could. Instead, I'm already committed to San Francisco. I'm not going to play games. I'm just going to take Brock Purdy. Because there is still that team with McCaffrey that is behind me and picking next. So you never know. that team with McCaffrey does take a quarterback. They go Caleb, so they were in the market for it. And who knows? They might have sniped me. Maybe not here at 104, but maybe again at 113 when they get a discounted price on Purdy. So not gonna risk it. Just take Purdy. We are, uh, we need Purdy on this team. Let's not pretend. We got Kittle, Pearsall, and Juwan Jennings, and now I might even take Ayuk. But I've got a shit ton of Ayuk, and I feel like I have too much. So I've been trying to cool it on Ayuk a little bit. Yeah, I was pretty sure I did not recognize you. Yeah, your username is Big Game. That's for sure. Jamie's been here several times, but thank you for the compliment. Albie says Mason's doing the Great Dane too, and Henderson went 47 in that draft as well. Yeah, he's a fourth round pick because while the ADP might say fifth round, like I'm in the middle of the order. I don't think he's going to be back there at 54. I don't trust that Travion's going to fall to the mid fifth. Like we see RJ Harvey go at 52. I don't trust that he's going to be available where we take Chuba Hubbard. He's been rising quickly. Walker also went at pick 40 in this lobby, so I knew the position was getting thin. In general, if you want Travion Henderson these days, you just have to take him in the fourth because odds are he's not going to fall back to you in the fifth. The hype is too legit. He's been moving up the board quickly. But Jamie says got Purdy in the 10th. Kyler does go in the 10th here. So I could have pushed it, but I was worried about that team with McCaffrey. I'd rather not gamble on it. And then at this point, damn, I think I'm just going to take Mooney. Like, I know people are worried about Mooney. I'm a little worried as well. Got a lot of Darnell Mooney, but this price is too good to pass up, in my opinion. And the coaching staff, I mean, maybe you don't believe it, but they are confident he will play at some point this season. And I don't trust Kyle Pitts. So as long as he's on the field, he's the number 2 target for Michael Penix. That is going to be valuable. So given the depth at receiver I have as well, he's my wide receiver 6. I'm not really counting on him. Like I got Nico, Ladd, Pearsall, Jawan, and Josh Downs. If Mooney cracks the lineup, it's just a big bonus. So I'll take the falling price on Mooney. I used to scoop him up like crazy in the 8th round, and then I stopped doing it. I instead take Jaden Higgins. But Mooney in round 10, I don't think I can pass on it. I was considering Ayuk with this pick, and we do not get Ayuk. He goes 107. So I was willing to take a risk that Ayuk is not going to be healthy for 6 weeks. I don't think Mooney's going to be injured for more than 6 weeks. Albie says, shouldn't it be Gross Gibbier? I don't know what that is, but you're asking Jamie, not me. Two Mules asking, do you ever do drafters? I have not. I was going to sign up for drafters recently, and then they wanted my ID, and I kind of just didn't want to go through the hassle of verifying the account. So I didn't fill it out, but I almost joined drafters about a month ago. On the clock here. Nah, I'll take Justin Herbert because we have Ladd. But I almost took Tank Bigsby. I was very close to taking Tank Bigsby. But instead, I went for the stack with Ladd McConkey. Will I regret it? Probably not. What is this in reference to? Reflect the Sun. Who got hurt? According to Google, gros gibier is French for big game. I is that what Google's saying? I have never heard gibier to mean game. And then big is not gros. Yo, Google is giving you bad information on that. For gros is like fat. Gros, it can mean big, but it's usually meant as like, fat. Le gros, GB, and then GBA. Maybe that's a new term. I'm not familiar with GBA. Maybe my French is fucking rusty, but je is the word for game. But gros gibier. Anyways. Fat game. It's not, I don't hate it. That game is fat. I mean, it doesn't have the same ring to it, but it's kind of interesting. Um Fuck. Maybe I should have taken Bigsby there. Shit. Nah, I'll take Keenan and call it done. Let's go Keenan. Okay, we have 7 receivers. We're not drafting another receiver. I was kind of hoping that Stroud would come back and I'd be able to stack him up with Nico. But Stroud goes at the turn to the team with Jaden Higgins. That's fair. But I almost considered taking Stroud with the last pick as well. That's all right. We got Keenan, we got McConkey, and then we got a big stack with Purdy. We're chilling. And we're also done at receiver. We're possibly done at quarterback, but I might take 3. We only have one more tight end left because we have Kittle. I got to hammer late round running back on this roster. That's what this team needs. But I think we're in decent shape. Tyler asking, did I know the Patriots are favored in 11 games this year? Take a look at their schedule. Oh, I'm well aware, my friend. I believe they're going to go 11-6. I have posted my win-loss picks for that division already. I believe the Patriots are a playoff team. I think they'll be 11-6 this year and a wild card team. Either the 6 or the 7 seed. Probably the 7 seed. Because I think the Broncos and Chiefs are both going to have 12 wins. That's one wild card spot above them. And then I think the Bengals, assuming they stay healthy, I think are also going to be like a 12-win wild card team. I've been updating some of my picks, but the Patriots, I believe, will win 11 games. I see a big run on receiver. That's great for us. I almost took Tajay with the last pick. I'll take Tajay here at pick 150. This is where we were grabbing Jaden Blue the last 2 rounds, and Jaden Blue went pick 136. So not only do I feel like I'm getting a great value on Tajay Spears, but I also feel really confident that our last 2 drafts where we took Jaden Blue at 150 was a very, very good choice. Yeah, Mike Vrabel effect paired with a very good draft. I thought they had a very good draft, especially that Travion Henderson pick. Albie prefers the GG version. I assume that's back to that big game French translation. But yeah, New England's going to crush. And Drake May is legit. Fascinating. The Google translation in French, I don't know if it's very effective. Up until today, I thought you were doing pretty good with the French translation comments, but fat fat game is an interesting translation. Always feels nice, but he is falling for a reason. But happy I took Keenan instead of Tajay in the 12th round. Glad we get Tajay. Big run on running back following the Tajay pick. We see Braylon, who I was also considering, Garendo, Dylan Sampson, JCM in the 14th, Najee Algier, Rashad White off the board. We'll be on the clock in just a sec. Cannot draft wide receiver, but the running back market is kind of slim. I think I'm going to gamble on Isaiah Likely. We have Kittle, so I can tolerate it. I don't hate it. Now, sometimes you can still get Likely in the next round, but he used to go in the 140s, and I was scooping him up like crazy in the 12th round before that foot injury. So I think he'll come back soon enough. He's my backup with Kittle. I'm not counting on Likely at all. But the upside is elite. And in best ball, we want access to a 30-point ceiling. Isaiah Likely is one of the only tight ends in the NFL that can do that. And it's still not like impossible that he's better than Mark Andrews this season. I wouldn't bet on it, but it's not impossible. I'll take Isaiah Likely here. Can we also talk about how Robert Kraft completely threw Gerard Mayo under the bus to set up this year for Mike Vrabel? Like, that's another conspiracy theory I have. That Robert Kraft, because 2 years ago, when Vrabel was still the coach for the Titans, it was weird. Like, during his bye week, he went to like a ceremony in New England where they honored him. I think they were like retired his number or something. It was something like that. And he got on the microphone for all of the crowd to hear. And he was like, "You have something special here." He was like raving about the Patriots and Robert Kraft and like the culture of the Patriots and like the New England fan base being like one of the best in the NFL. Like, he was glazing the Patriots when he was still the coach of the Titans. It happened like during the bye week. It was kind of strange. And then he leaves the Titans. We know he was fed up after they traded AJ Brown. And then even though he interviewed for a bunch of jobs, I remember he was like the number 2 candidate for the Chargers, but they went with Jim Harbaugh. He didn't sign with any team, and he waited a year. And now he's with the Patriots, even though last year it was like, why would they fire Gerard Mayo after one season? Well, I think Robert Kraft completely threw Gerard Mayo under the bus. That is my opinion. Yeah, Gerard Mayo's still getting paid handsomely. I think he's doing fine. But is it a shock that the Patriots preferred the white guy? Oh, that's the first time that's ever happened. I have lived in Boston. It is a low-key racist place. It is actually a much more racist place than it gets credit for. That's not necessarily funny. I don't know why I'm laughing at that, but it's not what you necessarily think of when you think Boston. You think of like all the colleges and like, kind of a hyper liberal vibe. Boston is low-key racist as fuck. That is my perspective, my opinion, but all you got to do is just hop on the different trains and see how segregated that shit is. Like, if you live on the Green Line, you're a college student. in Boston. This is the next few minutes as I'm talking is gonna be hyper Boston centric. But if you're a college student, 90% of the time you live on the green line, so you could be anything. But if you are someone who lives in Boston and you're not going to school, if you're Latino, you live on the blue line. That goes like to the airport, almost like completely out of the city. If you're a black person, if you're black, you will live on the orange line. And then if you go to one of the Ivy League schools and you like live in fucking Cambridge and you're bougie as fuck, you live on the red line. And then obviously like it varies, but uh you walk around Boston after like a Celtics game, like, and you get some drunk fucking people that are bitter that their team just lost. You will hear some crazy shit, man. You will hear some crazy fucking shit. And I went to Emerson. I went to school in the heart of Boston, right in downtown. I have seen some shit strolling around Boston. Okay, so we have three quarterbacks. We're done at receiver. We're done at tight end. I need running back strictly. These last two picks are going to be running back. We'll go Kyle Monungai. He's been moving up the board. We'll take a swing on him. Jamie likes his sandwiches with no mayo. Mustard is a very critical ingredient on a sandwich. Yo, have you seen some of the reps from Diggs this training camp? Diggs looks good. Diggs been cooking. He got hurt in like week 8 or something last year, week 7, week 8. He seems to be okay. Like some of the reps I've seen, granted, like they're not going to publish bad reps from Diggs most likely, but he looks legit. Punishment was to beat Buffalo in week 18, losing the first overall draft pick. Yeah, I think Gerard Mayo at least got a little bit of spite at the end, but beating Cincinnati. Oh wait, no, they didn't play Buffalo at the end. Did they? Did Buffalo sit their starters? Is that what happened? It was that Bengals game week 1 that cost them the number 1 overall pick. Reflect the Sun can confirm about what I'm saying about Boston. Albie also lived in Boston for 3 years. Boston apparently had a bunch of streets that were like just made by the cows and the horses. And then when like it was time to pave shit, they were just like, okay, we're not changing anything. We're just sticking with what the cows decided. And I have driven a U-Haul. I've driven a van through Boston. If you do not have the GPS on, you will get lost so fucking easily. Boston has terrible drivers. Boston's crazy on the road. We're going to go Ayamanor. Oh, fuck. Why did I take a receiver? I forgot I needed running back. Shit. I should have gone running back. So I should have taken literally anyone here instead of Ayamanor, but forgot. We could probably should have gone Kareem Hunt. I think that was the better pick. I could have taken Justice Hill as well. But Ayamanor was not the right pick there. I forgot I needed running back. Anyways, yeah, I went to college. You guys have probably seen him. He has a big TikTok following. One of my classmates goes by Moschino Dorito on TikTok and Instagram. And before he like blew up on social media, I remember he posted this video of like one of his interactions with like some Boston locals outside of a bar right by our school, and they are They are calling him like every fucking name in the book, and he's like this white redheaded guy. Like they are not holding back, just bitterness with a Boston accent. It is. It's a wild place out there. Boston's kind of strange. A wide variety of people. Anyways, there's a couple drafters in here with us. We got Dev at pick 3. Let's take a look at Dev's team. He goes Jameer Gibbs, T. Higgins, Hampton, Pickens, Ridley, Olave, Judy, Mixon, Dobbins, taking the gamble on Mixon, with Fields, Javonte, Bryce Young, Thornton. Wow, Thornton in round 13. Wow, I would have never thought I saw the day when I was drafting Thornton as my flyer in round 17, 18. Damn, Thornton has moved up the board. But Dowdle in round 14, Mason Taylor, Jatavion, Tesla, and Mayer. We know Dev loves Tesla. And an interesting bet on Mayer. I've heard that the Las Vegas Raiders are actually going to run a shit ton of 12 personnel, and that Mayer's going to be on the field a lot in the Chip Kelly offense. Might be more of a blocker, given how much they run the ball, but still, they might also like showcase him for a potential trade. I would love to see Michael Mayer traded to a different team. I think he could actually have a decent career, if not for Brock Bowers. So I like the team, pretty good. Quarterback a little shaky with just Fields and Bryce Young, but very interesting team. Elite at running back at the top, and then pretty good receiver depth. Personally, though, I'm not dying to invest in Olave and Judy, but you do get a discount on Olave. I have clicked it at that price, so I get it. And then Judy, not my favorite pick, but I understand the upside as well. I could definitely be wrong on these two guys. And then KS Cash also in here with us goes Brian Thomas at pick 12 with Derrick Henry, Mike Evans, Jaden Daniels, Kamara Debo, nice stack with Jaden, and then Jaden Higgins, one of my favorite clicks, Tyrone Tracy, Charbonnet, Kraft, Love, and Stroud. Oh yeah, you're the team that sniped me on Stroud. I almost forgot. Very justified Stroud pick. And then Ertz to pair with Jaden Daniels, JCM at pick 157. Like to see it. Wandale, Torrey Horton, Taj Brooks, and Jalen Lane. Are we getting some good hype on Jalen Lane? I would love to know who's the young guy that emerges in the Commanders pass catching rotation. But that's going to be it for today. Let me catch up with the chat before I go. Not my nun guy. We know Jamie's a Roshan boy. Roshan is your preferred option. But Albie says Boston never hit the reset button when it outgrew its origins, so they don't have no grid system. Driving to downtown Boston is awful. Yeah, it's brutal out there. Went to BC. Okay. BC's kind of nice. Tank looked good preseason. Diggs looks sharp. I have so much exposure to the Pats. I think they're going to play well this year. I think the Pats are a good team to invest in. Drake May, Dynasty QB7. Interesting. I like him. I think he's going to be a top 12 option this year. And I think the argument between him versus Caleb in fantasy is actually like really close. It's a toss-up in my opinion. Who will be better, Caleb or Drake May? It might be Drake May. Albie also went to UNC. A big fan of May. Mayer is great and could be a top 12 tight end on the right team. I liked him a lot coming out of college. They just drafted Bowers, and it just didn't work out for him last year. But he has a lot of potential. Cashfee says, after watching Ward and Ridley in preseason game, I'm here to say my bad for flaming you earlier in the summer. When you were drafting Ridley so many times, Ridley looked good. Clearly going to get volume. Yeah, that was my thesis, where like he has no competition. And like, even if he's not amazing, like, who the fuck else is getting the ball? But his numbers last year when Hopkins was gone were top 26 at the position, and I felt like that's his floor. But he is 30 years old. He might get hurt. It might be a wash. But I think from a strategy standpoint, I trust the volume going towards Ridley, and Cam Ward is going to those touchdowns are going up for Ridley. But Reflect the Sun says, check out Gary Kubiak from Texas Wikipedia. Apparently named his sons Clint, Clay, and Klein. Good to know. But appreciate you, Jamie. Thank you all for sticking with me through this live stream. And if you have not done so, if you've made it to the end, if you've been watching, drop a like for me on the way out. Do me a favor. Hit that like button before you go. And I will see you next time. But last comment I'll mention, Two Mules and a Cart says, in my opinion, it's absolutely crazy that Blue is going 40 to 50 picks earlier than Guerrero, Shipley, Allen, Brooks, White, et al. Does he go 40 picks before Guerrero? I don't know about that. Guerrero goes 153, Jaden Blue goes 136. So maybe that's a different ADP you're looking at. But I think it's kind of weird that he goes so far, that Javonte hasn't fallen. Like, Javante's not getting much hype. I feel like him, Jaden, and Miles Sanders should all go, like, very close together. But my preference is Jaden Blue. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. I hope you all enjoy. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And hold on. Jamie, is this for real? Is this for real? I also saw that Micah Parsons is potentially going to the Packers. They offered a good trade for Micah. I doubt he moves though, but I'll believe it when I see it. So far, I have not seen it. I don't know about that one. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. But Two Mules has no blue through 280 plus drafts. A blue hater. You know, you might not be wrong. There's a chance that no Cowboys running back has any value. It's possible that's the real outcome there in Dallas. It's possible that none of them have any value. Anyways, I'm officially saying goodbye. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.